Hey everyone, welcome to my flip through. I'm so excited to share another finished journal. Now this one is more of a swatching type of a sketchbook, so you won't see finished paintings or drawings in here. This is purely for my whole swatches, so when I purchase art supplies and also my monthly favorites, I swatch in here as well. So this has been the last page in the whole of the sketchbook, and let's just flip through. So let's look at the info of the paper. So this is, although it says Hobbycraft exclusive, we later discovered that they sell them exactly the same without the Hobbycraft exclusive tag on here on Amazon. And since I made sure to buy a few backups because I really enjoy the paper for doing swatches. It's not something I would possibly recommend for doing finished artwork, although if you're a beginner and just wanting to experiment a little bit, it might be good enough. It's not a bad paper, but I definitely prefer it for swatches because it doesn't really have a cover. It just has a simple piece of paper and just a bit of cardboard at the end, so it doesn't look as presentable, but for swatches it's perfect. So the info here is obviously Daler Rowney and it's mixed media paper. Now it can take a range of different mediums, and I found it to be true. A lot of different things worked on here, and I tried acrylic paint pans, liquid watercolors, and I'm not sure about acrylics, if I tried them or not. I tried pencils, I tried inks, I think. Anyways, you will see when we do the flip through. And it's acid free, and I think I already said it's 250 GSM, and the format is A5. And so you can use it as a landscape or a portrait, whichever way. I use it as a landscape. So let's start. Here I just started with, actually it'd be good to know when this was, because this little swatch here inspired a video which I haven't filmed yet, but it is in the making and planning. It's the comparison for watercolor pencils. It was quite interesting for me. I tried out a couple of so these ones are Faber-Castell Goldfaber Aqua, which are basically their student grade watercolor pencils, and they didn't feel that great. So I will share my favorite watercolor pencils with you in the near future. Here we have August favorites. I use predominantly one page, so if you wanted to zoom in and kind of pause and have a little read what the colors are, it's quite useful to see swatches for different mediums. So the way I work on this is just on one side, because I think the paper is one-sided. It's different texture, it's more flatter on the other side, and so I don't like it. I just use it on the front of it basically. So this is Jackson's Art Haul, September 2020, so nearly a year ago. It took me actually a year to finish. We are now in September, and I think chances are I started it actually in August. Well, you saw the August favorites, so yeah, definitely. And then this first page was August as well, I think. So a whole year to finish 40 pages just for swatches. For haul and favorites, monthly favorites. So monthly favorites would be just 12. The rest is just haul, really. Yeah, I've done well. These are Caran Neocolor 1 versus Neocolor 2. The same colors. And I just played around here. So you can see the water soluble and the non-water soluble crayons. So the Neocolor one are those that stay without reacting to water. I only have a couple of pages that are not related to a haul or to a monthly favorite. Here we have Ecoline Liquid Watercolor. This is Yellow Ochre, which I'm just playing around with different mediums and taking notes of what I, potentially like. Here we have got Caran Luminance and Caran Museum Aquarelle, Faber-Castell, Goldfaber, Holbein colored pencils, Derwent. So just a mixture of different pencils. I think I used some sort of a blender here. It might have been the Caran blender. Should have taken a note of that. Okay, so let's speed up a little bit. We have acrylic ink granulation medium. So combining the two, these are the lovely textures I got, and I really should play a little bit more with them. Ecoline Liquid Watercolor. Now this is just purely experimenting with their liquid watercolors, which are dye based, and also adding their white Ecoline watercolor, which basically creates this beautiful chalky, lovely, some sort of chemical reaction that is actually really interesting. So I've done that. Also something I should be revisiting. Caran Neocolor 2. I think I added here a couple more colors, and there are some Neocolor ones as well. Just did a little bit of blending, watercolor, and some color blending here as well. This was, I think, for a tutorial possibly that I filmed. So there's a bunch of Daniel Smith highly granulating colors that I also mixed together with, I believe, Viridian. And those are the beautiful kind of skin tones I created. Again, you can pause and read up here on the side all the colors if you're interested. More mixing. Earthy tones. This was, I believe, around the launch time, September 25th. So that was my second palette that I launched, and that did very well as well. Jackson's Art Haul. Now here we have a number of Ecoline, Viacro, Caran Neocolors, Luminance, all sorts of things. September favorites. So it's also very interesting to see the color palette of the monthly favorites change slightly. And you'll see that there's always like a popping color generally added to the colors. I have a contemporary color palette course on Teachable, and I basically explore the whole phenomenon of a popping color and how that helps to lift your colors and create a more contemporary, fresh look to your painting. So if you're interested, check that out. Rembrandt watercolors. So we have a few colors that I added here, and then just at the bottom I proceeded to just basically mixing them and enjoying a bit of fun. Jackson's Haul again. This is October now, and it's just a couple of things This is when I think I discovered the Shiva paint sticks, oil paint sticks. October favorites. So again, I enjoyed that beautiful texturized, it's almost like marble or gemstone looking creatures or swatches. So these are very, very interesting. Jackson's Hole November. Now, again, interesting color palette. I think around this time I was really into the whole thinking of how to create a limited color palette and what makes it quite interesting. This is another play with the Rembrandt shimmering colors. They're quite special, I have to say. Generally, I'm not a huge of like these sort of glittery watercolors, but these are very interesting. I love them. They really transform your other colors. Jackson's Hole December. So again, color palette is very actually Christmassy and very sort of festive with the pine greens and the muted reds and a bit of gold in there as well. And then obviously adding the grey calms it down and makes it a little bit more contemporary as well. Okay, big brands, best products. Now, I think I made like a 2 or 3 part video of this, and it was really a lot of fun just to share my thoughts on big brands and what products I felt were the best. So check it out. I'll try to link it up, leave the card somewhere here for you. I think this is still part of the same thing, if you wanted to have a look. Jackson's Hole December. Let's see, we are kind of halfway through now. So we have got these Rembrandt colors and Daler Rowney. So these are watercolors and Daler Rowney FW inks. Some Ecoline Playtime. Jackson's Hole February. February favorites. This is a beautiful color, Shiva Vetchwood Blue. It's like a grayish muted blue. Jackson's Hole March. March favorites. Oh, I did a double page spread here. This is Daniel Smith Prima Tag. Not sure what I was doing here, but it is likely that I filmed a video for this process. And then we have May Watercolor Haul. So this was just watercolors. And I added some Daniel Smith and Schmincke. I think this was to experiment with mixing them. May favorites. This is Nevskaya Palitra White Nights in the tubes, so watercolors in the tubes that I was sent by a friend, and I just tried them out here. A couple of them already had in the full pan, but it was good to see how they came out in the tubes. Originally they were just available in the full pans, and then they came out with the tubes as well, which is quite convenient. So then we have Jackson's Hole June. So this is 2021, so it's just a couple of months ago. Again, color palette changes to a little bit more of a cheerful, warm, exciting, hot pinks and yellows. Happy colors. Jackson's pencil haul. So this was just pencils, and this is when I added the black wing matte soft pencil finally, and a few more Luminance colors, which are these, and then I just swatched what I already had in the matching kind of color group. June favorites. Shameless plug. I added my tropical palette. Well, I love it. It's just such an interesting color palette on its own, but also when you mix them together, the watercolor magic just happens, and I love the granulation and the pigment separation that happens. July favorites. Now this is getting hotter in the color palette sense. We have loads of pinks, loads of oranges, yellows, and some lovely greens. And this color palette would be fantastic for a botanical, floral setting. So if you're into that, these colors would be fun to explore. Jackson's August haul. Right, so this is very recent now, and we have Schmincke Watercolors up to here. This is the color I had already, but I just wondered how similar Rutile Yellow to Turner's Yellow would be. They're very similar, but it's a warmer color here. Then we have a bunch of new Acryla Gouache by Holbein, and just kind of trying to explore layering with pencils over them. And then the Misty Blue that was added as a little free gift on Jackson's. I just swatched all the colors here basically. And then we have August favorites, which interestingly enough, the color palette is, although I have some pinks, reds, and some coral colors, it is now also getting into these grays as well, I guess ready for the end of the summer. Although, speaking of which, we had 4 days of beautiful weather. It was 30 degrees here Celsius in UK, and it's just been so lovely wearing shorts again and your sliders and summer dresses, so it's been gorgeous. And we have Jackson's haul September, which is the last one. And this was September the 2nd. I'm filming on Wednesday, September the 8th. So this was just 6 days ago. And we have a bunch of Ecoline watercolors here, just a few that I added new. And then Caran Museum Aquarelles and Caran Luminance, which I really enjoyed. The Indanthrone Blue layered with pink white, it makes this gorgeous, luminous, beautiful milky blue. So really enjoyed that. So that is it. That was the last page. It is so useful to see swatches, and sometimes certain things catch our eye, and layering certain products over, you can get inspired and go off and open your sketchbooks and start creating with the art supplies that you already have, or add a few that you would like to explore a little bit yourself. So that is it. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you soon.